you? Do you wish you knew exactly what you should do to get men chasing you like a hungry hyena? Good news for you. You can do exactly that. Once we discuss the 5 reasons how detachment will force men to chase you, you'll have all the answers you need to get the men crawling on their knees. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here or present so I know you're here present and actively participating in the live chat. Welcome to all you beautiful people on this Friday. I see we got SH Brianna here. We got Base Beauty up in the YouTube chat. We got Melina also in the YouTube chat. Ivy's here early as well. Welcome all you beautiful people. It is good and amazing to see you on this beautiful Friday. All right, let's get started here. How detachment will force men to chase you. Okay, so first, let's discuss wanting versus having. Okay, so detaching allows you to already feel like you have that result, okay, which is a good thing. There's a difference between wanting something and desiring it because you don't have it versus actually already resigning to the fact that you have it and it is yours. You can only be in a state of wanting and desiring when you don't have, when you're lacking. And see, we always talk about mindset and spirituality on this show because mindset and spirituality and all the things that you can't necessarily touch with your fingers outside of the 3-dimensional are majority of what relationships really are, up in here and maybe in here. Okay. And so the reason I talk about detachment and I'm talking about why that is very important, understanding the wanting versus having and how that's drastically going to change men's approach towards you, is because when you acknowledge that you desire something or you want something, you're also subsequently acknowledging that you don't have that thing. And you might think, well, what's wrong with that? That's just me being honest about my situation. That's just being honest about my life. That's just being honest about what it is. But the reality of it is that mindset that I don't have the thing will also make it harder to attract the thing. I know it sounds strange, and without trying to get too philosophical on you, for those of you who are familiar with manifestation and the law of attraction and all that good stuff, you have to be in a state of already having it in order to attract it into your life. You can't be in a state of feeling like you're coming from lack, that you need this thing in your life, because then you're acknowledging that you don't have it or that it's not already true. It's the same reason whenever you hear people talk about affirmations. Do you ever hear someone discuss an affirmation and say, okay, repeat after me, I wish I was beautiful. I wish I was loved. I hope I can be cared for. I hope that people will respect me in my relationships, right? You don't speak like that because you're not speaking from a place of wanting. You're going to speak from a place of already having. So your affirmation would be, I am beautiful. I am worthy of love. I am this. I am that, right? It's a state of already having and already existing in. And so as it relates to detachment, when you begin to detach from these men and these relationships, right, in the process of dating, in the process of getting to know people, you detach yourself also from the outcome, okay? And this is very important because detaching yourself from the outcome is what allows you to stop being in a mindset of wanting the thing and already allowing yourself to know that you have this thing. Even if you don't necessarily see it right now, right here in front of you, even if you don't necessarily know how it's going to work out for you in the long term, you've already resigned yourself to the fact that this thing exists in my life. And so detaching yourself from the current situation or the current person you're dating and allowing yourself to say, I already have the love that I desire, and I'm detached from the outcome of this situation or any future situations because I know that the love I desire and the relationship I'm looking for already exists, and I have it, right? It's in my grasp, regardless of what is in front of me, regardless of how the person who I'm in a relationship is treating me. I have the relationship that I want. It is mine already. And detaching yourself from outcomes is so important, because as you begin to become more and more attached to the outcomes, your anxiety grows and your feeling of I'm in lack. I don't have enough of this. I don't have what I need. I'm not where I'm supposed to be. This relationship isn't resembling what I'm anticipating or expect from my relationships, right? You continuously believe that you're in a position of lack. You're in a position where you don't have the thing. And so what does that continue to attract? That continues to attract the energy of not having. That continues to confirm all the narratives you're playing in your mind. People don't love me. People don't respect me. Guys don't want me. Guys don't want to chase after me, right? This is part of why detaching from your relationships and your situations can become so important, because you detach yourself from whatever's going on currently in front of you, and you only see in your mind and you only manifest in your mind the thing that you already want to have in your life. I was almost going to say want, but the thing that you already have in your life. Okay? Right? Very important. Because once you accept this idea, right? Once you accept the idea that the type of relationship you want men to pursue you, you want men to chase after you, you want men to desire you. Once you accept that you already have that and you already embody that, I know this is very spiritual. Once you accept that you already embody that, that is when the man will begin to become more attracted to you. That is when you'll begin to see the narrative switch in your life that is in line with the mindset shift. And we'll talk about energy shift in a little bit, with the mindset shift that is happening inside your brain and with your emotions, right? Everything is going to begin to align itself with what your belief of yourself and your life is. So as you believe, yeah, I'm definitely worthy of being pursued. Yep, all the guys chase me. That's already existing in my life. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what situation is in front of me. Guys want to respect me. They want to pursue me. They want to chase me. They want to be around me, right? And you detach yourself from whatever outcome is existing right now currently in your relationships or with the guy that you're currently speaking to, right? You also detach yourself from being attached to the ups and downs and the ebbs and flows of everything that would go on in a talking stage or a situationship that would throw you off, right? Throw your mindset off of what you want and start thinking in a negative mindset and a negative mind state, where all you're seeing and the only narrative you're building is how little you have, how much people don't care about you, how much men don't want to pursue you, how much men don't want to be around you, how much men don't want to chase you, right? Because it's a vicious snowball effect. That detachment is so powerful because when you detach yourself from the outcome or the current state of the situation, you allow yourself to stay focused on what it is you're actually trying to attract, instead of making the mistake of attracting the thing into your life and the narrative into your life that you're not actually trying to see. Super, super important. Okay. Does that make sense to you guys so far? Right. Base Beauty says, makes sense. This applies to overall living. Yes, I agree. It applies to overall living. You know, everyone talks about self-love. Everyone talks about, I don't chase, I attract. And I definitely agree with that, especially for you as women. I always tell you guys, you should be in a position of receiving, observing, listening, right? All that good stuff, you know, like you don't need to be the one pursuing or chasing or after anything. But part of that whole mindset of I don't chase, I attract is accepting that whatever it is you're choosing to attract, you already have that. Not, oh, I don't chase, but I wish maybe if I could possibly attract, I would maybe kind of sort of try my best to attract what I possibly can, but maybe I'm not worthy of a lot. No, I already have the thing. I attract the thing. I am, not I wish to be. I am, right? That's the whole mindset, and that's the shift that you have to take in order to properly see what you want to see. So in order to get the men to desire you and pursue you and chase you, you literally have to resign yourself to the fact, men chase me, men desire me, men pursue me, period. I don't see anything else. I don't believe in anything else. There is no other alternate reality in which men don't chase me, pursue me, or desire me and want to be with me desperately. It's only that. They want me, they pursue me, and that's it. I don't care what date I go on. I don't care what a guy says to me. I don't care what situation I go through. I already have the thing. I don't want the thing. I don't wish for the thing. I already have the thing. Okay, so secondly, let's discuss situation versus person, because this goes in line with the outcome. Okay, I know for a lot of you that have been in a toxic relationship, or just been in a relationship where you feel like things aren't working how you want them to work, and you're actively trying to adjust things or fix them. Let me know in the chat if you've ever been in a relationship or a situationship where you've been trying to fix your partner or fix the guy that you're dating. Let me know in the chat if that's ever been you before, where you've been trying to, the things haven't been working out how you wanted to work out, things haven't been going how you wanted them to go, and now you're in the position of trying to fix that person. You think if you just sprinkle a little bit of your fairy dust, if you just stick around long enough, if you just hang out with them for a good amount of time, or you just show them these couple of things, they'll eventually go and turn into the person that you want them to be, instead of continuously being the person that doesn't work for you in this relationship. Okay. Dominica says yes. Scotty says yes. Rosie says yes. Sam says yes in the YouTube chat. Sweet says my ex and it didn't help. Madison says, how can we believe that we have money if we don't have money? That's the process. The process. We'll talk about that another day. Okay, right? Once upon a time says sounds familiar. Brianna says sadly yes. Okay, trust me, I've been there too, guys. Okay, and the reason I asked that question is because I want you to understand, when we're talking about detaching yourself from the people you're dating, specifically the guys you're dating and the relationships that you're in order to get him to actually chase after you, in order to get him to actually desire you and pursue you. I want you to understand that as you begin to detach yourself from the situation and the relationship and resign yourself to the idea that I already have the thing, I'm not in search for the thing, I don't lack the thing, it's already existing in my life, i.e. the men already want to chase after me, the men already want to pursue me, right? You also detach yourself from the idea that my version of a great relationship, or the relationship that I'm seeking for, is existing inside the person I have to be dating right now. Okay, I know that sounds bad. Okay, someone said glitching. Is it glitching for you guys on TikTok? Is it glitching for you guys on TikTok? I only see one person saying it. Okay, it might just be you, Scotty. As it relates to situation versus person, I want you to understand, once you begin to detach yourself, not just from the person, but from the relationship overall, you begin to understand, I'm not here to necessarily force this relationship to happen with you, the specific person. I'm looking for a specific situation, and that situation could be a plug and play with anybody who fits the criteria of what it is I'm looking for. Okay. See, when you detach yourself from the specific individual and you allow yourself to be more focused on, I'm just looking for the right situation, you're never in the business of trying to change people. You're never in the business of trying to fix people. You're never in the business of trying to adjust people's behavior, or just be like, oh, if I could just change this one thing, if I could just change this one behavior, if I could just make them more like the person I want them to be. No, instead, you begin looking for the person that embodies what you were already searching for. Okay? That's a very big difference. Why? Because when you're looking for the person who embodies what you were already searching for, you're not trying to change people or adjust people. You actually are instead trying to do the job of understanding people and learning people. And in the process of learning and understanding them, you then are able to see, is this person the person that I've been searching for? Do they have the qualities that I was already looking for? Are they embodying the character and personality traits of the partner that I want to be with? Does this relationship embody the relationship that I already know that I should have? I have already, that I'm trying to attract, all that good stuff. Right? And the reason I say that is because that mindset shift is very critical to preventing yourself from being in situations too long, or being in the wrong situation, or sitting around trying to get someone who isn't acting right to act right. Because all of that is an absolute waste of your time, when it should be spent focused on what it is you want and only focused on finding that and nothing else. Okay? Only focused on finding that and nothing else. Because your mindset, right, and your brain power shouldn't be spent trying to adjust someone's behavior to fit an aesthetic or that you want it to fit, right? It should be focused on knowing what your situation already is, right? And the situation that you already want to be in, and then allowing the questions to be answered throughout the span of you knowing him and getting to know and growing with him and learning him, getting an understanding of, is this the person that fits the criteria of the situation that I'm trying to be in, that I want to be in, that I have in my life? This is the thing that I'm attracting, that I want to attract, all that good stuff. Right? And the thing about it is that as you begin to approach situations and relationships like that from a detached standpoint of, I'm detached from my person has to be you, right? I'm detached from that feeling that this, just because I meet you and I like you and I think you're cool, that doesn't mean that you have to be the person that I end up with. I'm looking for the person I'm going to end up with by identifying if they fit the criteria that already existed before I met you. So if you're not the person that fits that criteria, that's perfectly fine. I'm detached from the idea that it has to be you. I know it will be someone. I just don't necessarily need it to be you. If you want it to be you, that's fine. And I'll love that and that'll be great. But if it's not you, I'm not attached to the idea that it has to be you. And I know some of you are probably thinking, well, but that doesn't really sound like love. That doesn't really sound like you care. That doesn't really sound like you really appreciate anyone that you're with. It sounds like you just really don't care about any of the situations or the relationships that you have. That doesn't necessarily mean that. You can still care about your relationships and the people that you spend time with and the people that you're in a relationship with, while also giving them the space, and we'll talk about space in a bit, while giving them the space to actually show you that they are the embodiment of the person and the relationship that you're looking for. Okay? Just because you're detached from the idea that it has to be them, that doesn't mean you're not still invested in learning if it is them. There's a difference. Okay? So it doesn't mean that you have to not care about people in order to detach from the situation properly to get men to pursue you. But it does mean that you're not attached to the idea that if you are not embodying that, if you happen to not be that person that fits that criteria, I'm okay with that. And I will gladly walk away from that. Right? And the men that you begin to meet in your life, because this is going to be a very spiritual episode for those of you who didn't already clue into that. The men that you begin to meet in your life will come to the realization and the span of meeting you and better understanding you that the only way for them to get access to you continuously is for them to embody the type of man that you are seeking, for them to embody and this relationship that you have with them to embody the type of relationship that you were already seeking. So the choices for them, if they are interested in you and want access to you, are act according to what you expect in a relationship, or no access for you, no Squirtle for you, not even the human being for you. Okay? And so the choice becomes very simple. The only men you begin to attract are the men who understand that they need to show up how you expect them to show up, in what your understanding of a good and healthy relationship is based on what your needs are, or they will not have access to you. Very, very simple. And see, this is how the men begin to pursue you and chase after you, because now they're seeking your approval, because now they're seeking your validation, because now they're thinking about what you want and what you need and what's important to you, that they can fit that mold for you and be that person for you, instead of it being the other way around, like it's been for a lot of you, where you're the one bending over backwards only for the guy to not see or care or appreciate you whatsoever. Okay? Because you're not attached to your relationships being that guy. You're attached to anybody that will embody the person you're looking for. That's the person that's going to get access to you. They begin realizing, oh my God, if I don't act right, if I don't do the right thing, if I don't say the right thing, if I don't, respect her or get in line with what she's looking for, she will gladly move forward, because she's not looking for it to necessarily be me. I don't have enough power that I can show up however I want to show up, whenever I want to show up, in whatever way I want to show up, and she's just going to accept me for that, because she's desperate for the relationship to be with me and me specifically. Right? With that detachment, you begin to get so much power in that. When people realize it's either they show up for you how you expect them to show up, or they lose their access to you. Okay? Very important. Halish says, does responding daily to text communication equal giving access? I talked about this yesterday. I always advise you guys that the phone should only be used as a scheduling tool. So I wouldn't advise you to have any conversation about getting to know each other over the phone. And if he tries to, I would tell him that you're way too busy to be having long text conversations, but he should see you in person. Okay? Right? Okay? Yuri says in the YouTube chat, the moment I stopped chasing a long distance guy, he started leading to the extent of flying to visit me. See, that's the crazy thing. And that's how powerful detachment can be. I know it sounds like, why should I not care about people? Why should I not care about situations? Why should I not care about relationships? I don't think you should not care. I just think you should detach yourself from the outcome and detach yourself from the idea that it has to be that specific person, and allow them to show you that they're the person you are already looking for. It's a big difference, and it's a big shift in your own mindset, which will drastically shift your approach. Okay? Right? Right? So important. Ivy says, people that don't align, you just fall away. It's very simple. Very simple. And you are okay with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Right? Trini says, why does it matter what he wants if you're the main character? Exactly. It doesn't. It matters what you want. It matters what you need. It matters what works for you and what serves you. That's what you need to be worried about first before you worry about anything else. So anyone that shows up into your life that doesn't fit the criteria of what serves you and what you need, irrelevant to you. And you are detached from but I'm so sad that it's not. No, I'm not sad about it. I'm going to find the person that's going to work for me. And if it's not you, great. Actually, we're going to get through this faster because I realize it's not you. So that's actually even better. Right? Okay, very important. So number one was wanting versus having. Then we had the situation versus the person. Now, number three is clarity. Now, the reason I bring up clarity is because it's such a powerful way to, it's such a powerful thing that happens when you detach yourself from the outcome or the fact that it has to be the person. You gain so much clarity in your relationships because you have so much more ability to observe things for what they are and put real, honest logic into those things. Okay, right? Because now that you have the clarity of what you're seeking, and now that you're not emotionally attached to the idea that, oh, it has to be you, me and you have to be in a relationship, me and you have to be together, or it's got to work. If it doesn't work, I'm going to be thrown out of whack. If it doesn't work, my world's going to end, right? Once you become detached from that, you begin having so much clarity where you're able to observe people for who they are. You're able to learn them for who they actually are, not who you want them to be. You're able to actually receive them as they really are with the mask off. And then you're able to actually make a real determination on if they are the person you were looking for or if they aren't, which is a very, very important determination to have. And you need to be making that determination based on real, actual information, not the facade that they want to present to you, not the ideas that they want to present to you that aren't real. You want to be making those decisions based on who they actually are and what you actually have learned about them. And when you detach yourself from the outcome, whether or not the situation works out, cool with me. Whether or not you're the person that I'm supposed to be with, cool with me. I'm detached from the outcome and detached from it being you. You gain so much clarity and you're able to make decisions and observe people for who they are. In turn, and how it affects the guys is because you have that much more clarity, because you have that much more understanding of what you're looking for and how other people you meet might not be that, and that's perfectly fine. You're going to walk away from that. You stop yourself from being strung along in these situationships, in these talking stages, in all these messed up, messy situations where guys will just not really tell you what's going on, but they kind of like you, but you're kind of a thing, but you're not. And all this confusion that you go through where you just stick around, hanging around, hoping that things will change, hoping that things will work out because you really want it to be this guy that things work out with, right? And the moment you stop sticking around, the moment you stop hanging around waiting for people to change, right? The moment you stop having that energy of, oh, I guess, if you're not able to do it right now, if it's not able to work right now, I'll just wait for it to work. I'll just wait for you to be the person that I'm looking for, right? The moment your energy shifts, we'll talk about that next, right? And you stop being strung along, you will notice that the men you begin to meet and even the men you begin to date are a lot more intentional with you. Because your energy now is projecting outwardly of someone who understands what it is I need, what it is that serves me, and you're not looking to invest your time or energy into anything else. You have clarity in your relationships. You have clarity in your life. You have clarity about what direction it is you're going in. And so the only option for the men who are going to have access to you from that point on are the men who are intentional. If you notice, everything we talk about is about how your mindset will change how you approach things and how you project outwardly, which then in turn will change how people approach you and receive you. Okay? Right? Because you're not trying to invest your time and energy into people who aren't going to be intentional. You're not trying to invest your time and energy into people who aren't even actually genuinely interested in you. Because for some of you, that's the situation you're in. You're investing time and energy into a guy who's actually not into you. Okay? And these are part of the things that are important to understand. When you detach yourself from the situation and the relationship, even if you're still in the relationship, when you detach yourself from the outcome, now you're forcing men, right, to acknowledge the fact that you ain't going to be strung along. You ain't going to be sitting around waiting around for things to happen or things to work out. Because you know what you want and you know what you're looking for. So if I like you as a man and I want you as a man, my only option is to fit the mold of what you want and to be intentional with you, because I know if I stop being intentional, if I start stringing you along, if I start playing games with you and playing around with you and not making things clear and having a whole bunch of confusion, you will walk away. And so you begin to attract men that are only willing to pursue you. There is no other option. The only men that get access to you are the ones who are ready to pursue you heavily, Because if they're not, they won't be embodying what you're looking for, and you don't care if it's them or someone else. And their only option, if they want you and want access to you, will be to fit that criteria. This is why detaching yourself can become so powerful in terms of getting men to chase you and pursue you. You literally end up leaving no room in your relationships or your lifestyle for men to even be in your life in any capacity that aren't prepared to be the person that you need, or in this case, to chase and pursue after you, to be intentional in your relationships. Is that making sense to you guys so far? Okay. Christine says, how can we effectively detach? You know, it's great. I have so much videos now. Everything works together. I actually have a whole show dedicated to exactly how to emotionally detach from someone. Okay. So I have a romantically specifically. So if you're wondering the intricate details of how to detach from someone, please go and watch that live show. It wasn't too long ago, and it's literally titled How to Detach from Someone, a Man, Emotionally. Okay. But I want to keep the focus here on, how detachment can actually help stimulate guys chasing you and pursuing you, and how it can be very vital and how you can do that. Okay. Right. So number one, does that make sense to you guys so far? I want to make sure I keep up with the chat. Okay. Right. Jesse says it's crazy how much people are going through this. I know. It is crazy. But, as we continue to talk, as we continue to have conversations, as we continue to get to know each other and become best friends, we will both help each other learn more about life and relationships, and we'll all grow at our own pace. We'll get better, and we'll have more knowledge that we can take that knowledge and better our own lives with that knowledge. Okay. Right. Hysteric asks, why do men pull away even when things are going great? Well, that's kind of sounds more like a specific situation that you're having. If you have a specific situation, then please head into my Discord. It's the link in my bio. If you're on TikTok, if you're on YouTube, just go into the link in the description, and you can ask me a question of your specific situation in detail in the Discord, and I answer it live on the show. So please go in there and ask your question so I can answer it. Okay. Spiritual being said, I wish I knew this when I was young. Hey, we all learn at some point, and it's better late than never. So now that you're learning and understanding, now you can, for the future of your relationships, you'll be so much better, stronger, and wiser. Okay. So number one was wanting versus having. Then we had the situation versus the person. Number three, we talked about clarity. Number four, I want to discuss the energy shift. Okay. Now, very important for us to understand and be on the same page, right? You begin having more confidence within yourself and within your relationships, and you change, your energy shifts into someone who knows what they want, knows what they're looking for, and also knows what they're not looking for. That breeds confidence, okay, internally, where you don't, yes, a man will lead you. Yes, your man will be the masculine. Yes, your man will be the leader, all that good stuff. However, that doesn't mean that you don't know what you want and can't identify what you want and what you need, especially in a relationship. Okay. And it also doesn't mean that you're not confident in the value that you offer, that you're not willing to put up with anything less. See, this is part of why it's so important to detach yourself from the specific person and even the outcome of the relationship. Because once you have that confidence that I know the value that I bring to the table, I know the value that I bring as a wife, as a woman, and I understand that in return for that, I am deserving, and I have in my life, and I will have in my life, a man that embodies everything that I want. Okay, your energy begins to shift where that confidence is what you project outwardly. Trust me. Men receive that confidence. I know you might think, well, do they really? Are men really attracted to think about it for a second. Think about it for a second. I want to ask you guys a question. If you were at a party, do you think you could tell someone who is confident versus someone who is insecure just by watching them walk around and maneuver at a party? Let me know in the chat, yes or no. Do you think you could go to a party and tell if someone was confident within themselves or insecure within themselves just by watching them walk around the room and interact with other people? Do you think you'd be able to sense that? Okay. I see a lot of people saying yes in the chat. Okay. I'm glad you guys are participating. The reason I asked that, right? See, Ashley says yes. Brianna says yes. Starik says yes. Pretty Miracle says yes. Okay. Right. The reason I ask you guys that is because if you can notice someone's confidence within themselves as they walk around a party without even meeting them, without even talking to them, and you can feel that energy in them just by watching their body language, watching the way they maneuver around a room, that should tell you that we as human beings are capable of feeling that without saying a word. That energy actually projects outwardly and is a representation of how you feel internally. Now, vice versa, the men can also feel the energy shift in you when you begin to have confidence in what it is you're looking for, while also being detached from the idea that it has to be you, right? Or it has to be, the relationship has to work out with you or else my life's going to fall apart. Meaning you have to go forever or else my life's going to fall apart. No. I'm looking for what I'm looking for, and that's all I care about. I'm not attached to the idea that it has to be you. I'm not attached to the idea that this relationship has to be the only relationship for me. I'm attached to the idea that I'm looking for what I'm looking for, and anything that doesn't fit that criteria is going to go by the wayside and not get my time, attention, or focus. Very simple. Very simple. Right? And that is part of the energy shift that changes inside you because your mindset changes. And I told you your energy that you project outwardly is a representation of the internal mindset. And as people receive that, they also understand, oh, you're actually so confident within yourself and you know exactly what you're looking for. I can't mess around here. Because trust you, believe you, me, I'm a man. Trust you, believe you, me. Let's trust in each other. Men know who they can mess around with, string along, play around with, and who they can't. Okay? And it's something that you pick up on very quickly when you meet someone. Right? It doesn't take too long to pick up on, is this someone I can mess around with and, play around with and not take seriously and not respect and disrespect? Or is this someone that requires respect, requires my utmost attention, and requires my actual focus? Okay? Or else I won't get access to them. I guarantee you, a man's approach to his dream girl is going to be very different to his approach to a girl who's been begging for his time and attention. Why? Not because one woman is better than the other, but because he understands there's certain things he can get away with the girl who is begging for his time and attention and desperate to be with him versus his dream girl. Because more than likely his dream girl has a plethora of options. In fact, she has so many options, it'll actually take convincing for his dream girl to even want to be with him. And so the understanding of that is gonna help him know he can't mess around. He can't play around, and he's got to put his best foot forward, which is why you have some women who seem to get everything they want from a guy, who seem to get all the best treatment, all the flowers, all the amazing compliments, all the, princess treatment, while other girls and other women seem to get less than the bare minimum, and they only seem to struggle in their relationship. That might be you, and only seem to struggle in their relationship where they're the ones pursuing the men, chasing after the guys, trying to get the men to see them, trying to get the men to notice them, trying to get the men to validate them, trying to get the men to want to be with them. Imagine that. It's very sad if that's you. Okay? Right? Because like I said, the guys will believe in your own hype. So if you believe in your hype, you'll embody that right? And the guys will also believe in that that confidence that you have in yourself stems from the value that you actually have, which is why they begin pursuing you, because they're like, oh my God, if I get this girl, I'll have something, and someone specifically, that is so valuable that everyone else wants. Because the only way she can be this confident in herself, the only way she can know her worth so well, is if she was actually very valuable. The same way, vice versa, the only way she would accept less than the bare minimum, the only way she would stick around even though I'm not giving her respect, is if she had no value. And so when you detach yourself from those outcomes and you detach yourself from it being that person, now your energy shifts and you're confident in the fact that you don't need it to be you. I am whole with or without you. So if you want to make this work, then you'll figure out how to make this work based on what I need and what serves me. If you're not interested in making this work, then you won't be doing the work in terms of trying to actually build a relationship and have it look like what I'm looking for. That's why I say it's so important for you to be in your role of receiving, where you're the one dictating what your needs are and what makes you happy and what makes you feel fulfilled, that the man who wants you and is trying to approach you and is trying to pursue you is then saying to you, okay, what do you need? What do you want? What do I need to be doing in order to get more access to you because I'm interested in you? And you sit back and observe if this is a man that you even want to be investing your time in. That's the natural state where you want things to be. And that can only happen when you're in a detached state from the outcome and from the person. The only thing you're attached to is the situation and the concept of the idea, and knowing that you already have in your life that concept, you just have to find the person who it's actually going to be. Okay? So you have your happy relationship, you have the great respectful man, you have the princess treatment and all that good stuff. All you're doing is figuring out which one of you lucky whippersnappers is it going to be. Okay? So number one was wanting instead of having. Number two, we talked about the situation versus the person. Number three, we discussed clarity. Number four, we talked about the energy shift. Now, number five, let's discuss space. Okay? Because as you detach yourself, now I'm not just talking about even physically now, and I'm not even just talking about detaching yourself from the outcome and the relationship. I mean, literally detaching yourself, even in the span of the relationship or the talking stage. Because detaching yourself is also not texting him all the time, not calling him 24/7, not trying to be up in his face. And literally in the process of dating him, you're in a detached state where you're not necessarily needing to speak to him all the time. You're not necessarily needing to be around him all the time. You're not necessarily begging for him to try and hang out with you and be around you. That space that you give when you detach yourself from people is actually what makes guys even more attracted to you. Because when they receive that space from you, that time alone is the only time when they actually have space to desire you and want you and want to be with you. You see, desire cannot exist where you are already present. The more access to you he has, the less he's going to desire you. Because how can you desire someone who already exists in a 100% capacity where there's nothing left more to desire? I want you to think about this logic. Okay? That's why I always tell you guys, especially even at the very beginning of a relationship, you should not be trying to be as present as you possibly can 24/7. You should actually be trying to be as distant as you possibly can and as detached as you possibly can 24/7. That way, all of that room in between you guys can be filled with him desiring you and trying to pursue you. Okay. Now, obviously, there's a balance to this. You don't want to go into an extreme where he feels like you're not interested, but you're literally giving him just enough just above not interested, that he still feels like you're interested, just enough for him to continue pursuing you constantly like a hungry hyena. Okay? That space that you give people when you actually genuinely detach from them is why they come crawling to you and they start pursuing you. Have you ever noticed, let me know in the chat if you've ever been through this, in breaking up with a guy, and when you're finally getting over, like it feels like literally the day that you wake up that one day and you're like, you know what? I actually didn't think about you today and I'm actually okay that we broke up. I'm actually happy. I'm moving on and I feel good. The first day that you say to yourself, I actually feel good after this breakup, is the same day that he texts you. Let me know if that's ever been you in the chat, if that's ever happened to you, right? The same day that you finally detach yourself from the guy and say to yourself, okay, I'm actually good now. I actually don't need this relationship. I actually feel better going on in my life without this relationship, and I realize why it didn't work out. That's the same day that he'll literally text you or call you and be like, I miss you so much, baby. I can't get enough of you, and I'm so sad without you, and life is not the same without you. And he'll start telling you about all the memories. Don't you remember when we walked down the park and then we went through this magical flower bloom and how amazing it was, and how I told you that we'll be together for the rest of our life. And he'll start reminding you about all these different memories that you had, right, to try and get you emotional again. And you'll be like, I literally today, it was today that I just got over the situation. Why are you texting me this now? Are you spying on me? Are you watching me on a camera? How did you know that today was the day that I finally got over you, and this is the day that you're going to text me and say all this stuff? Okay? Right? And the reason I bring that up, I see a lot of people saying, yeah, I've been through that, right? And the reason I bring that up is because that is exactly what happens when you actually detach from people. Not fake detach, when you actually detach from people and detach yourself from the idea that, oh, I need to be with you. It needs to be you. Okay? As soon as you do that, people start saying, oh, well, it doesn't have to be me. Oh, you don't need it to be me. Oh, you don't really care if it's me. Well, wait a second. Don't walk away. Wait a second. I can show you that it's me. What do you need? Is it $1,000? Do you want me to? Do you want to get your nails done? Your hair? What do you need? You want a sugar daddy? I don't know. Like I didn't know that you don't care if it's me. What do you mean? Am I not good enough for you? Right? And it triggers people. Right? It triggers people because when you're with them, they're expecting you to be so invested in them that you can't see or think of anything except them. And this is the thing, especially for men, they've become accustomed to being able to show up in women's lives, get the girl invested, get you invested, and then after they get you invested, they kind of ease off the gas pedal, okay? Because they realize that once you're invested, you're hooked now. And once you're hooked, they don't have to do as much. In fact, sometimes they'll do even less or show who they really are, which is not in line with the person that you invested in and not what you signed up for. It's like a bait and switch. Okay? And they do that with the understanding that getting you invested is the most important part. So when you're approaching it from a detached standpoint and they start to feel that detachment from you, even though they're dating you or even though they're seeing you or even though they're talking to you, they start to think to themselves, oh my goodness, you seem like you'll easily walk away from. Do you not care? Do you not like me? Am I not interesting? Right? What do I need to do? Why are you not invested in me as much as I'm invested in you? Why don't you want it to be me? Right? And it increases their level of anxiety. It also forces them to say to themselves, oh, I either have to put my best foot forward or she will not be with me. I'm like holding on by a string. And I always tell you guys, it's good for men to have anxiety when it comes to you. It's good for men to feel like, oh, if I don't do the right thing or say the right thing all the time, then she will gladly walk away because she's got many different options. And also, she's not attached to the idea that it has to be me. So I can't sit back and relax because I know she's invested in our relationship working out with me, that she won't want to leave the situation regardless of what happens with us. Okay? It's the same reason why you hate nonchalant men, right? Because you feel like they don't care and you feel like they're not invested in you, is the same way the men hate nonchalant women. because it's like, why are you not invested? Why are you not, do you not care? Do you not care about me? Do you not care about this relationship? What do I have to do? The question begins stirring in your mind. What do I have to do to make you care? Okay. Yomi Nails says, do I tell him that? No, you don't say any of this to him. You let him feel this. Okay. This is all about a feeling, because nothing you say will be as powerful as what you make him feel. People don't remember what you say. They only remember how you make them feel. So what I mean by that is, in all this stuff that I said and I brought up, he will feel that through the process of you actually detaching. Okay. Now, I know some of you might have missed my episode on detachment and why detachment is important and how to actually do that. I won't go super deep into that, but what I will give you guys on some tidbits to actually detach from people. Okay. We talked about this yesterday, but muting their social media. I know it sounds, isn't that toxic? Why would you want to mute someone that you're in a relationship with their social media? Isn't that, isn't that wrong? The reason I say mute their social media is because I know some of you have the problem of constantly checking up on what he's doing, who he's with, who he's talking to, right? Let me know. We talked about this yesterday. Let me know in the chat. Have you ever checked a guy's snap score to see if he's talking to people or messaging people or snapping people when he's not talking to you, or if he's out, or if he's with friends, or if he hasn't texted you back in a while? Have you ever checked a guy's snap score before? Okay. I tell you guys all the time, I know how we really do relationships here. I'm not an 80-year-old man that doesn't know how real relationships are actually happening in the real world. Okay. I know you're checking his snap score to try to get a hint on who he's with. I know you're checking his story to try to see if that's the same wine glass that you saw in Sarah's Instagram post, but from a different angle. And you're trying to match up the wine glasses to see if he's out with Sarah instead of being at home with his dog where he said he would be. I know that you're sitting around checking his WhatsApp status to see if he's subbing you, to see if he's talking about another situation, to see how he feels about you, to see if he has another girlfriend, right? Like, I understand what's going on. Okay? But I want you to understand, like, these are part of the things that I say you need to cut out if you actually want to detach yourself from this guy that you can start observing. You can start seeing him for who he is. You can start making clearer, more logical decisions rather than being so emotionally invested that, oh, I need this relationship to work out with you. And you're chasing around every Scooby-Doo clue to try to figure out how you can fix situations or how you can get this situation to work or make this situation work. No. If the situation doesn't work for you, you're going to walk away. But you're not going to be chasing around Scooby-Doo clues, trying to be Sherlock Holmes and figure out what the situation is and how you can get him to act right. No, you're not doing that. Okay, so muting him on social media is a great way to do this, what we're discussing. I would also let go of the texting. If you're a textaholic and you love trying to get to know people over text, get rid of the texting. It's not helping you get to know him any better anyways, and it's only making it harder for you to get an actual in-person date out of him. Okay, these are those are just two very easy things that you can do that will help you actually detach from the person that they will have. I guarantee you this. I promise you. I promise you. If you mute his social media and stop checking it, and you stop texting him for any reason other than scheduling the next in-person meeting, I promise you, if he has any interest in you whatsoever, that man will do a 180 and begin pursuing you like you never thought possible. Just by doing those two things. You stop checking and obsessing over his social media, because once you stop doing that, you're going to stop being like, well, who are you out with? What time were you there? When did you come back? FaceTime me and show me the wall. FaceTime me and show me the bathroom. FaceTime me and show me underneath your covers. FaceTime me and show me your closet, right? Once you get out of that and you stop texting him to try to, just have ongoing low quality conversation, feeling like you're getting to know him even though you're not, I guarantee you, once you get rid of those two things, you'll be in a much better place and in a much more detached state where you can observe him for who he is. And you'll also see how interested he really is in you or not. Because for some of you, when you do that, when you detach like that, you'll realize that the guy you were talking to or the guy you were in a relationship with wasn't even that interested in you in the first place. Because you'll realize that because as soon as you detach, you'll realize there is nothing left there. There's no relationship because you were the one doing all of the pursuing. I guarantee you, if a man is even a little bit interested in you, as soon as you do that, as soon as you detach like that, it will give him nothing but anxiety. And that anxiety will have him thinking about you constantly and obsessing over you constantly. And he will begin pursuing you like a hungry hyena. It is just human nature. And I don't care how evolved he is. I don't care how smart he is. I don't care how emotionally intelligent he is. It is a trigger point that people cannot control. If they are interested in you, if they like you, if they care about you, the moment you detach from them, they're going to wonder what happened. They're going to wonder what changed. They're going to wonder what they did, what the problem is. Because it's uncomfortable for people to feel like someone who cared about them once doesn't care anymore. It feels like it's a reflection of something wrong you did. And I'm sure you've had that feeling yourself, which is why if you join the Players Club and you understand what the feeling is and how to elicit that feeling out of people, you've become so much more powerful. Does that make sense to you guys? Megan Ray says he's on to something. Yeah. I mean, I could be BSing. Maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about. Maybe I'm just an idiot with a microphone. Okay. Maybe. But I would like to think if you were to go out and try some of these things, or maybe you already tried them and you know this to be true. I would like to think if you tried it, it would yield you some results. And I think that if you are here listening to me in this conversation with me and all these other beautiful women in the chat, you would know that we're all here because we're trying to actively change the situation and the circumstances that we've been experiencing, which means the approach needs to change. Okay. MZ says, I've healed now and I don't want to talk to guys. Hey, that's fine. And the funny thing is, MZ, is that in that mind state is when you'll attract the most guys. I promise you. That's when they'll be like hungry hyenas chasing after you. As crazy as that is. Ella says, what do we say when he starts asking through text, what's wrong with you? So you're saying like once you detach and he starts asking what's wrong with you, you tell him there's nothing wrong with you, right? Saying nothing is actually really powerful because you don't need to address anything. Actually, the less you address, I know this sounds toxic, but the less you address, the better. Because if he's asking what's wrong with you, it's because his anxiety is growing. And if his anxiety is growing, he's looking to you to ease his anxiety by telling him that you've just, it was a complete mistake that you didn't text him and you'll go back to your regular scheduled programming. See, if you say nothing and you make him feel like he's crazy for thinking that something has changed, right? His anxiety continues increasing. And I always tell you guys, it's not just about making a guy feel good emotions and positivity. It's also about making him feel strong negative emotions, because that's actually how you control someone and really grow their obsession for you, by making them feel strong emotions, positive and negative. So when he asks you what's wrong, Ivy, you don't say anything. You don't even address it. You act like it's not existing. The most that you say is that you're busy. You've been working on stuff. Then he starts thinking, busy doing what? What you been on? Where you been? Well, what are your hours now? You got a new job? What job you working? Why are you so busy? What are you doing with all your time? And you see, just that fast, you've put him in the position of being the person chasing you around, being the person trying to figure out every single Scooby-Doo clue. Now he's the one asking you, show me this, show me that. What time is your schedule? What time are you going to work? What time are you hanging out with this person? And you have him exactly where you want him. You want your guy to be on your butt, chasing you around, trying to figure everything out, trying to see what you're on, right? Because that's when he's in hot pursuit. Listen, I know this sounds manipulative, because it is manipulative. It is manipulation. I'm gonna tell you that, the truth. But you don't want your man sitting back, relaxing, chilling, not feeling like there's anything to work towards or work for, all right? Especially at the beginning. when it's very pivotal to establish the dynamic of the relationship and who's in control. Because when you allow him to sit back, relax, and feel like he doesn't have anything to worry about or work towards, now he's going to get arrogant. He's going to start disrespecting you. He's going to start talking to you any way he wants to. He's going to start doing and acting however he wants to because he knows there's no consequences and he doesn't have to keep up with anything because you're the one chasing after him. But if you have it the opposite way, where he's the one chasing after every Scooby-Doo clue, where he's the one inquiring about you, where he's the one trying to figure out what you're on or what you're feeling or what you want, now you have him where you want him. Because you can get anything you want out of a man who is anxious about you and curious about you and wants to know more about you and is chasing after you. You can get anything you want from that man in that state. You can't get much from a guy who's sitting back, relaxed, not worried about anything. Right? Jesse says that's what happened with my ex and my baby daddy. It's crazy. Crazy. Christina in the YouTube chat says, oh my God, after pulling away once with my husband, we're in the car. He's like, what's wrong with you? My reply, my seat won't adjust, right? I'm telling you, see, you guys think that guys are immune to emotion because we're guys. We all have the same emotions that you do. We actually get triggered by a lot of the same things that you get triggered by. It's just a lot of the time, you're the one getting triggered first. You're the one being more emotional. And so the fact that you're getting triggered first and you're more emotional allows us to naturally live in a more detached state. Okay? Because I don't have to worry about you or how you feel or what you want when you're so attached to me, when you're so emotional about me, because I know that the only reason you'd be so attached and care so much about me is if you loved me and cared for me and wanted me and liked me, right? And so in turn, my subconscious understanding that you wouldn't be doing the most if you didn't care so much, now I get to sit back and not wonder, do you like me? Are you still interested in me? Do you still want me? It's crazy because if you detach, the guy will become who you've been asking, do you still like me? Are you still interested? What's going on with you? What's the problem? Are you okay? Well, like, are you still happy with me? Do you still like, you know what I mean? They might not ask it exactly like that, but they're going to embody that same type of anxiety that you regularly have in your relationships. Okay? Right? To haze out, I hope I said that right, says, I was super anxious towards the end. However, I gave him space, tons of space. It turned into the end of a relationship. Too much space and detachment backfires. Well, here's the thing, is that, like I said, for some of you that give guys space, that detach yourself from the relationship, you'll realize that the guy that you were invested in actually wasn't that interested in you, unfortunately. That's the unfortunate part of this and everything that we talk about with this, is that some of you are going to realize that the relationship that you thought was a relationship was really very one-sided, as unfortunate as that is. Okay, but that's still a good realization because that will help you know that now you can stop wasting your time on someone who wasn't truly invested in you. Okay. Ash says, Lulu says, so it's a win-win, 100%. It's exactly that. You win by realizing this relationship wasn't going to work out anyways. And you also win if he comes back much more interested in you. So it's a win-win. Ash in the YouTube chat says, channeling my nonchalant vibes next. It's good. Okay. So now it's Discord time. 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 It's Discord. I'm gonna make a song about that. It's Discord time. Okay, it's Discord time. Let's go. It's Discord time. Discord time. Discord time. Discord time. All right, let's hop into the Discord, where we will pull up some of these amazing messages. Oh, that was Gorilla Grip Coochie from yesterday. So let's hop into the Discord and let's answer some messages. Let's see what some people have to say in the Discord and what some of these questions are. We got lots of questions in the Discord. That's why I wanted to hop right into the Discord as soon as possible. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, so first we have a Misty Gem. Okay, so Misty Gem asks, for the past 6 weeks, I've been hooking up with the guy I met on Field. I'm assuming Field is a dating app. I'm not familiar with that one yet. That's a dating app, correct, guys? For the past 6 weeks, I've been hooking up with a guy I met on Field. He told me from the beginning that he was busy and would try to make time for me, but he knew I wouldn't be as available as he knew he wouldn't be as available as he knew he should be. He even said, if I find another person, that is fine, and to just keep an open communication. Okay. His reasoning for being busy was due to preparing himself to join the police academy, work and working out. I'm not going to lie, I did end up crushing on him, which I believe was lust. Okay, at least you're honest. Anyways, for the first 3 weeks, the first 3 weeks were great. We were talking every day and hooking up once a week. I didn't know that you said you met him on a dating app. Now you're hooking up once a week. Okay. I'm already starting off disappointed. He all of a sudden stopped. He all of a sudden stopped the consistent texting. I wonder why. I kind of got into my head about it, thinking he possibly found someone else. No, he just got bored of you. Fast forward to now, it's week 6, and I've been trying to see him for the casual hookup. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm not sure what you're doing, Misty Gem. It has been about 1.5 weeks since our last meetup. Okay. I don't want to get mad yet. I don't want to get mad right now. He did recently find out that he tore his meniscus and was stressed out about his polygraph test he took for the police academy. Okay. Sob story. Today he suddenly surprised me with a talk and ended things due to him not being able to be available. That's why he ended things? Interesting. I would be lying if I said I didn't get sad a bit. I'm having a hard time believing him and the reason why he wanted to stop the hookups. Do you believe he is being honest? Do you believe he's being honest? With this scenario, do you think he would come back, or is it done? I know all this was thrown out the window since we hooked up, and that's all it was. But I was truly thinking we could have dated. But I know that's just me being delusional. At least you know. Okay, Misty Gem. Look, let's just be so for real here. Okay, so you met this guy on a dating app. Okay, you guys answer me in the chat so that she can see this when she comes back to this. Do guys on dating apps want to make their life harder when it comes to meeting girls and getting access to them? Or do guys on dating apps want to make their life easier when it comes to getting access to girls? And let's all answer that question for Misty Gem so she can see that and not just think I'm pulling stuff out of my butthole. The reason I asked that question, Misty Gem, is because this is already, I know I poo-poo dating apps, but there's a reason for that. This is already a bad start. Okay, meeting him on the dating app. Because what are you expecting a guy to be most interested in when you meet him on the dating app? He's going to be most interested in the path of least resistance, which is why he's getting on a dating app where all he has to do is take his finger and swipe left or swipe right. I don't care what app it is. It's the same premise for all of them, right? Just see a couple of pictures of you and then decide if you're even worthy of him getting to know based on a couple of pictures from you, whether or not they're good angles, whether or not they're good lighting. and a few prompts in a bio. Okay, so it's always the path of least resistance when guys are meeting you on the dating app. So what do you think he expects when he meets you? The path of least resistance to get access to you. I know some of you get on dating apps thinking that all the guys on dating apps are ready to date. It's actually not true. The guys on dating apps get on there because they realize the girls on dating apps are ready to date. So it's really easy to present yourself as wanting to date so that you can get access to those women, and then just doing a bait and switch, basically. Like, oh, I didn't realize I'm not ready to date after I slept with you 30 times. My bad. Right? That's what they do. I'm telling you this as a man. Like, it's just the honest truth. Don't mean to sound mean. So, you're saying that so this is the past 6 weeks you guys were doing this. After the first 3 weeks were great. So you didn't even mention in here when the first time you guys slept together was. But if you're saying the first 3 weeks were great, that means you slept with him within the first 3 weeks. So I don't want to make assumptions, but let's assume you probably did it within the first 2 weeks that you slept with him. So the first 2 weeks of meeting this guy on a dating app, you slept with him. Okay, he's never met you from anywhere in life, and you slept with him after 2 weeks of dating him. Keep in mind, you didn't actually see him all of those 2 weeks. You saw him for a couple days out of those 2 or 3 weeks. So let's average out, you saw him, let's just say on a heavy side, you saw him 3 times a week for 2 weeks. That's 6 times you saw him. If you times those 6 times you saw him, let's say you spent 3 hours together in those 6 times, you spent a total of 18 hours with that guy and you slept with him. So not even totaling up to an entire day, and you slept with him of time you spent together. That's the simple math. Not to make fun of you, Misty Gem, but let's just be for real. So what do you expect him to think of you? And you said you were thinking maybe you could have dated. Why would you think that? Why would you think that? If you were actually like, this is why we have this show though. But if you like, and this is where sometimes I always try to tell you guys, when you listen to me, it helps you stop. It helps you identify what your emotions are and why you're having those feelings or emotions, that when you're having that, you can actually deal with them. Because for someone like Misty Gem, you see, the logic train would tell you, if I want to be considered a wife, if I want to be perceived as a wife and treated as a wife, then there's actually going to have to be things that I do to embody that idea. There's actually going to have to be a way I carry myself that people will perceive me that way. And if you know that you want this guy that you want to date to perceive you that way, then you should also know that a decision to sleep with him very on is not going to help your perception be that of a wife who respects herself, that he can actually want to be in a long-term relationship with. Okay, right? And that's the problem, is that you were thinking emotionally about how you felt in the moment and you just jumped right into it. That's the thing too, is the guys will want you to think emotionally and jump right into it, that when you make the mistake of sleeping with them early on, they'll be like, oh, we just did it because it was the heat of the moment. But it doesn't stop them from saying, yeah, but it was heat of the moment, but I'm not interested in you anymore. Okay? And so in your position, the only option you have left is, do I think he would come back? No. I mean, he cut it off. The only reason he would come back is if, let's say, he was desperately dry on Squirtle and he just had no other options and he was really aged one day. Yeah, he'll text you and he'll hit you up. Or if you post something nice on your Instagram story of your dump truck spilling out of your pants, maybe then he'll be like, yo, wasn't it nice when we used to come over and you used to top me off and I used to send you back home? Right? That's the only time he would probably come back. But not to come back and want to be in a relationship with you. No. Let's just be for real. Okay. Now, you said, since you hooked up, you know that you messed up. Is it done? I would say yes. I mean, for him, you have to understand, if you were offering him free Squirtle, which you were, this was 6 weeks that you guys were just hooking up. And you even mentioned yourself that this was casual hookups, right? Where'd you say that? Right? You said that this was casual hookups, right? And so if he's turning down casual hookups, that means he has completely lost interest in you. Like, like zero. He is a man saying no to free Squirtle with no commitment. I'm sorry to tell you, I don't want to be mean to you. It only means one or two things. Either he has another girlfriend, another girl that he's interested in, and he doesn't need you for anything anymore, or he just finds you that uninteresting that he can't even be bothered to, get free Squirtle from you, even though you're offering it to him with no commitment in return. It's one of the two things. Okay? And so, Misty Gem, in your situation, the only option you have is to pull all the way back. And once you pull all the way back, and I mean, don't text him, don't call him, don't do nothing with him, don't even watch his stories. The only thing you can hope for when you pull all the way back is that he actually had some interest in you, that he can want to talk to you or, try to pursue you after he realizes that you're basically gone. But other than that, ain't nothing else you could do. Ain't nothing else. Okay, let's head over to our next one. We have Stoogie Woogie or Sloogie Woogie. What? We got some screenshots here, so this is gonna be juicy, guys. Buckle up, okay? Should I give him a second chance? Sloogie Woogie says. 25 female. I was dating a guy 28 male for a few months back, in early 2023, like late February and early May. We met each other. We met each other on Hinge. For our first date, we went to get boba. On the second date, we went to the aquarium, and afterwards, we went for a walk around Temptown Lake. Then on the third date, I went. On the third date, I went over to his place and we played Super Smash Bros. Nothing against video games, but you know what? I won't say anything. And well, we also smashed. Nice. Nice. Mistake after mistake. After that, have you noticed that all our messages, it's always they smashed? It's never we didn't smash, but it's always we smashed. And that's when the mistakes happen. That's when the problem started. Gee, I wonder why. After that, most of the dates consisted of me going to his place. Oh, I'm in pain. I'm in pain. I don't understand. I don't understand how you could possibly be trying to build a... How do you expect him to take you seriously? Okay. Then in May, we were talking on the phone and I brought up us being... It just keeps getting worse. What? Why did they do this? Why would you smash and then talk about being exclusive afterwards? I don't understand why you don't do this in the opposite order. Why are you doing it in the exact wrong order? Why don't you talk about exclusivity first and then jump into pineapples when you've established what it is? Why are you thinking, I know you made a mistake, Sloogie Woogie, but like I want you to think back, the logic makes no sense. No sense. And he was like, I don't think I'm ready for a relationship after all. Oh, I wonder what changed. Could it be that he's been getting free and easy Squirtle without commitment? So why would he purposely try and make his life harder when you've been making it easy for him? Sloogie Woogie, you've been making his life easy. You've basically been saying, hey, I have a product. You can pay nothing for this product. He's been enjoying the product, right? He's been having a good time with your product. And then all of a sudden, now you're coming around and saying, hey, I actually want you to pay for this product, pay a subscription for this product every month now. And he's sitting there like, bruh, I ain't trying to pay no subscription for your product. You've been giving it to me for free for the past year. I ain't paying no subscription. Get the F out of my face. Not that you're a product, but I just want you to understand it's the same concept. Why are you giving yourself to him, giving him everything he would want, even in an exclusive relationship? What more is there to access if he goes and hops in a relationship with you? Like, it does not make sense. I was like, okay, then we'll just go our separate ways then, because I'm looking to be in a relationship. So we stopped talking to each other. At least you did something right. Fast forward to Valentine's. Oh, this is going to get bad. Fast forward to Valentine's Day 2024. He messaged me on Snap saying happy Valentine's today. And I just left it open. Finally, that's a win. Finally, Sloogie Woogie gets a win. Then this past Monday, I got a text message. And then hours later, a DM on Insta by him. I was debating on responding. And then on Insta, the next day, he sent me an even longer message. And later that day, I responded to him. Why? What could he possibly say? Please see attached screen. Oh, so you answer what he could possibly say. Please see attached screenshots of the convo. Should I give him a second chance or not? I've been currently dating another guy for the past few months, and I hope you didn't hop into pineapples. And he has constantly been setting up dates where we go out. So I feel like there really isn't much of a point, but at the same time, the one dude I am currently dating could fumble the ball. So it might be good to still keep my options open. I don't know. Okay, let's see the message that she's referring to. I know this is a little bit on the, see if I can zoom into this or something. It might be a little bit small for you guys on TikTok. Sorry about that. So it says here, long time no see. I know you probably don't want to talk to me, and that's fine, but I just wanted to see what's up. Then he said, well, that's what I expected. After what I said without thinking back then, well, what I do want is to talk about us and how everything has been. Da, da, da. I forgot I had to communicate. Okay. Sorry, I'm just skimming through this. I was in the wrong. I should have told you what I wanted. Okay, so it's all an apology. Okay, so this is all an apology. This is on Instagram that he's messaging you this. It looks like Instagram. This is Instagram DM that he's messaging you this. Does he not have your number? What's the problem here? Why is he messaging you this on Instagram? Strange behavior. Don't like that. Makes me feel uncomfortable. The next screenshot, it's kind of much of the same. Then you said, I told you changed your. Told me you changed your mind. And wasn't ready for a relationship. And then he's like, yeah, it's fine. I started realizing that I couldn't just cut off anyone like that. Is that what he realized? Okay, let's see. Well, to be straight up, I was planning to ask you to be my... Yeah, I was planning to ask you to be my girlfriend back in March. Yeah, I think, but I was, he said, I think, even after he said that, I said, I think, but I was unsure if you even wanted that, or at least with me, but insisted, but instead of asking, I chose not to, you know what? This is BS. I don't even need to read the rest of this. You literally, based on what you told me, unless you're telling me the wrong things, you literally asked him about being exclusive. So the idea that he didn't talk about you with wanting to be his girlfriend in March because he wasn't sure what you would feel about this, even though you're the one that brought up being exclusive, makes absolutely no sense. Like, let's just all be for real. Like, that's not what it was. I know that sounds good, and you want to believe in that's the reason. It's not that. Let's just fast forward through this because I'm sure it's much of the same. Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, he's apologizing, all that good stuff. I've seen this all before. Like, I've done this, and I also have guy friends. So this is pretty standard stuff. Okay. At the end of the day, I personally would like to just talk to you again. Okay, cool. It's an apology, and it's just him apologizing for everything and saying he was wrong. Cool. So what I actually think is going on here is what's actually happening is one of two things. Either he's realized that his market value actually isn't as high as he once thought it was. So in what I mean by that is him going out and dating other girls. He's probably realized he can't get the same caliber of girl as you. And so that has made him realize his best bet is to actually be with you instead. Because I promise you, if he had a plethora of girls out bended on knee, ready to suck him off, he would have no interest in hitting you back up. This is really about a dry spell. Or what has happened is maybe he's just been really H'd, right? Really H'd, and he decided to hit you up and tell you a bunch of things because he wants that same easy access to you that he's been getting. And he probably realized that if he really says the right things and he really does the right things, he could probably get you reinvested where you'll continue giving him easy access and he can satisfy his H'ness and whack himself off inside of you and be satisfied with no commitment like he was doing before. And so he probably thinks it's a great time to manipulate you and string you along by sending you this long message that sounds good in a Disney princess novel. But in reality, it's not actually any of the things that he's talking about. Based on the timeline you gave me and what you just said to me, it doesn't even make sense because you literally asked him to be exclusive and then his response that he didn't want to, but then he's over here telling you, let me see where he said that you wanted to be exclusive. Right? You wanted to be exclusive. And then his response was that he's not ready for a relationship. So at what period was he thinking that the best thing to do was to not talk about asking you to be his girlfriend because he wasn't sure how you would respond when you're the one that asked him to be exclusive in the relationship? Doesn't make any sense. Okay. So it's either that he's realized his market value is not that good, or he's just really H and he feels like he can manipulate you into going back to getting free Squirtle from you, one of the two. Either way, I don't think this is really it's just a complete waste of your time. I don't foresee this be turning into anything serious. If a guy really knows he wants you, I mean, he would have been known that. I don't think that he came to some magical realization unless he realized he isn't able to get that many girls or of the caliber of you. So that could be his realization. Either way, I don't think he actually appreciates you. I think he fake appreciates you. Better to stick with the guy who's been setting up dates and doing the things that you need him to be doing. Remember, you're detached from the person and the outcome with that specific person. You're just attached to it being the situation that you want it to be. Okay. So that's your advice. Slujit Wajah. All right. Next we have, let's see what we have next here. Next we have BC. Okay. Let's see what BC says. BC says, how to chase me into commitment. BC says, hello, love all your advice on YouTube. I'm a 36-year-old female, divorced, no kids, dating a 40-year-old man, never married, no kids, in a long distance dating relationship. We live 3 hours away from each other, same time zone. We've been chatting online you guys know how I feel about, let's see. This sounds like a pen pal. This sounds like a pen pal for 4 months of chatting online. Met in person for our first date, and he surprised me on our second date. All expenses paid trip in a different state. He offered to pay, although I didn't expect it. I didn't expect it, and has been a complete gentleman. Okay, so at least he's putting an effort into seeing you. So that's not a pen pal. Okay, I apologize. As soon as something good happens, something bad happens. We did have pineapples while away. Guess it was our time. Was it really? Was it really? Even after he still took me shopping and bought my own stuff too, and paid for our last meal and small gesture and thank you for everything. Okay, that's good at least. He's been texting me every day, morning and night. He's 90% always the one to text first, but since listening to your advice on only using our phones as a tool to meet up, I sent him a voice note saying I've been busy and I'm not the best texter, rather quick voice notes, quick phone calls, and of course, in-person meetings. He's hinted to have our next date in his town, but hasn't made any secure plans yet. He works up to 100 hours a week as an entrepreneur, but still finds the time to text his whereabouts daily, even if I pulled back. How can I continue to get him chasing me? How can I continue to get him chasing me into him wanting a commitment with me? Part 2. He will do this naturally on his own, even with the distance and not being available to him as I was before. Should I should I be more forward in mentioning my schedule the next few weeks? And if he's still wanting to meet me so we can actually plan? No, I'll address this, but definitely no. Long distance relationship isn't usually my forte, but we are both in the same time zones. And I wouldn't want to walk away without at least trying to see if this could turn into something more. It's the early stages of dating. I'm still keeping my options open. And let me see here. Sorry. I'm still keeping my, I lost my place. Oh, sorry. It's the early stages of dating. I'm still keeping my options open and already naturally live in a busy life with work, hobbies. I'm going with the flow, not trying to rush anything. However, I also don't want to waste my time with the wrong guys. I've already been divorced, still want marriage and kids with the right person and circumstances one day when the timing's right. Okay. Great message here. Thank you, BC, for this detailed message. My advice to you. So I always tell you guys should be saying it in the chat. You guys should know what I'm about to say. You need to let him cook. Let him cook. Everyone say in the chat, let him cook. Why? This guy, he is doing a lot. Okay. I will say that he is not, based on what you said, this doesn't strike me as someone who's not being intentional. He took you on an all expenses paid trip. Like, he's doing what he can do, especially for someone who works 100 hours a week. Okay. So this is what I mean. Like, the guys will make time. He wanted to make time. He made time for you, and he does that. He still texts you, even though you pulled back, he still texts you, he still calls you, he still does all that good stuff. So that's good. I don't think you need to be bent out of shape and have anxiety that he's not saying, I want you to be my wife right now. Okay. Just relax. Let him cook. Let him come to his own realization that he wants to continue making the relationship escalate and do more and more with you and spend more and more time with you. Okay. It's okay for him to date you for a bit. And then in the process of dating you, his interest in you grows over time to the point where he wants to fully commit to you. Like, that's okay. I know that you guys all read, Wattpad stories and, read smut books. And you when you're a little girl, you watch Disney princess movies in which everything happened in the first 5 minutes of the movie and everyone fell in love just in the snap of a finger. But in reality, the guys who actually have sense, the guys who actually are being real with you and not just love bombing you, they take time to cook, and their interest in you grows over time. So they're going to be intentional with you without going overboard based on the timeline. They're actually going to go through a real life progression of their interest in you continuing to grow and increase, of them continuing to want to see you more and spend more time with you. And over time, they're going to get to the point where they actually want to, be in a full-blown relationship with you and make you their wife, right? That's the natural occurrence of things. That's what should be happening. I know in all your fantastical stories that guys be reading, it happens so quickly, but that's actually not real. That's love bombing in real life. Right? Because we don't live in a dramatization of life. We live in real life. Okay. So there's nothing wrong with anything that he's doing. And I think if you continue to pull back, regardless of whether he works 100 hours, he's going to spend 101 hours thinking about you and what you're doing and how he can see you next. You see, the thing about long distance relationships is if you pull back from him over the phone, it makes it that much more painful, right? When he's not with you because he's not close to you. So it makes him think about you even more and be even more focused on when he's going to be able to see you again. So all of those feelings are intensified because you're so far away from each other. So I think what you're doing in terms of pulling back is a good thing. And all you have to do is continue doing what you've been doing and do nothing. Do not be more forward mentioning your schedule in a few weeks and asking him if he wants to make a plan. No. Do not do that. Do you understand me? Do not ask him that. Do not make him aware of your schedule unless he asks you for your schedule. You're not doing the pursuing or the chasing. You don't need to remind him of what he already told you about wanting to go out on a date with you and wanting to plan something with you. He's a grown man. A grown man who works 100 hours a week as an entrepreneur, which means he probably has his own business. So he's managing a whole business. I'm sure he can manage his own schedule. And remember what he said to you about going out with you and spending some time with you. You do not need to remind him by telling him your schedule before he asks for it and, trying to mention that, yeah, you said we were going to hang out. When are we going to? No. You sit back, you relax, you let him realize that he wants to spend time with you, and you let him ask you when you guys are going to spend some time or when you have some free time. That's when you let him know your schedule. Okay? You're not sitting around waiting for it. Oh, but you said you were going to hang out with me. How come you don't want to hang out anymore? How come you're too busy to hang? No. Don't do that. Don't you dare. Okay? Don't you dare do that. Okay? You sit back, you relax, and you let him come to you. Okay? So that is my advice to you, BC. Next we have, let's see here. So many we have to do. Next we have T. Okay? T asked, let's see T's post. Please touch on transparency in long-term relationships. So T says, hi, I would like to get your perspective, please. This year in June will be our 4 years of marriage for my husband and I. We've known each other for about 15 years now. We didn't have a typical wedding, but he still got me a ring, and I wear the engagement one. The actual wedding band hasn't been presented to me yet. Okay. We live together with 2 kids, like both of them are your kids. Okay. Things are going better now that I've changed, more self-focused, energetically, more detachment, psychological knowledge, self-care, love. Sometimes I still get triggered if I feel he's being secretive or simply holding back communication. So I'm still working on how to alchemize that heal that trigger inside of me. Since the beginning, I wanted him to include me or open up his finances to me. Okay. To me, I feel that it's appropriate to be open about finances and possibly joint accounts if both agree. And I don't see why 2 people wouldn't after getting married. I would feel secure that if he trusts me enough to have eyes on his income, how much he has, we have our expenses for the purpose of planning, budgeting. Early on, we would get into arguments over it because he would say he's not ready. Recently, February, it came up again in conversation after an argument. I brought it up because I wanted to know that I feel more secure once he's included me in the finances. He said that we could reach that point once more long-term aspects were in place. I mean, you're married. It's pretty long-term. Such as me finally getting my last name changed. We've identified the root of the problem. To his surprise, I had filed for it and gotten my last name changed already, just had not told him yet. So my name is officially changed, yet he still has made no movement on opening up his finances to me. Continue below. Okay, so I let it go. As in not bring it back up. It still bothers me because deep down, I have fear of him lying, hiding something, or maybe that I flat out don't trust him. You've known him for 15 years and you still don't trust him? Okay. I trust him to a large extent because he does provide for me and our 2 children, and I haven't had to worry about bills. Okay. Which is a big deal. Okay, so you're not even paying the bills. Okay. However, I feel he could or would invest financially in another woman's situation without my knowledge. Oh, is he balling like that? So he's balling enough that you actually think he can financially take care of you without you having to worry about anything, your children, and then still have leftover money to take care of another girl with another situation. Okay, he's balling. Shout out to him. Without my knowledge, only because he hasn't been completely honest with me. Or it's just I feel he could be hiding something in general. Also, I feel disrespected because it's something I've expressed that would put me at ease, but he hasn't changed it. However, in the meantime, yes, my financial needs are being met. Okay. But emotionally, I feel put off by him because I haven't stopped pineapples or doing all of what I feel like my part is in the marriage. but isn't he doing his part as well? He provides for you and your 2 children, and you don't have to worry about bills. So how is he not doing his part? Okay, let's continue. So in return, I've just been doing more and more self-care. As I mentioned earlier, it's working in so many ways, except he hasn't gotten transparent about finances and honestly about his emotions, what he wants. His MO to pull away. His MO is to pull away to whatever degree until it seems like I'm over it. But I've recently followed suit because I don't know what else to do. My biggest goal is to find my own personal success and have my own income so that I can walk away when I feel ignored. Does it take walking away for him to be transparent? Also, because he said he needed more long-term aspects to be in place, I bought him a wedding band last. What do you mean you bought him a wedding band? What do you mean by that? Tell me what you mean by you bought him a wedding band. I hope I had a brain fart and this isn't actually in English. This is in a different language. I sincerely hope you did not buy him a wedding band. I sincerely hope that's not what I'm reading. And just holding on to it, because until he's transparent, I don't feel comfortable giving it. Why would you be giving a man a wedding band? I'm like glitching here because I'm so confused. Can someone tell me in the chat why she's giving a man a wedding band? I'm confused. I don't understand why he's receiving a wedding band from you for any reason. It's really nice. It's a really nice ring that I put into selecting and being purchased. What is going on here? I'm so confused. Why are you purchasing him a wedding band? I'm like genuinely confused why that's happening. What are you trying to prove here or show him by purchasing him a wedding band other than is he the girl in the relationship? I'm so confused. Chat, have I missed something or are you guys confused too? I feel like I've missed something in this. Okay. You like that last part was wild. I don't know why you got him a wedding band. This finances thing though, I mean, you're saying that you're taking part of your part in the marriage as if to imply that he's not. But like you said earlier, he's paying for all the bills and you don't have to worry about anything. He's also paying for your children. So in terms of providing, he's taking care of his part. Now, there's a difference between not taking care of his part and the fact that you don't feel comfortable because you don't have anything for yourself. That's a totally different story. Because listen, I'm here to be the person in your life that will tell you how it is, not tell you what you want to hear. Because what it sounds like to me is you're disgruntled about the fact that you feel like he has too much control in the relationship because of his financial situation, that you feel like you're not able to address him appropriately because he has all the control in terms of money, right? And you want some of that control back by having access to the finances, one, so you can spy on him and make sure he's not doing anything shady, and two, so you can have some access to his money that in case things go wrong or in case he starts acting weird, you'll have some access to funds that you'll be able to use for your own benefit instead of only just relying on him and what he gives you and what resources he allows you to have. Now, I'm not here whether to say that's a good or a bad thing. I'm just here to, try to break it down and understand what's going on, because, this is where you kind of have to make a decision here. Because if you know that you're unhappy because it sounds like you're unhappy with the power balance, truthfully, okay? And if you know you're unhappy with the power balance, then you need to do your own work in terms of changing the power balance. Okay? If he has enough disposable income that you feel like he could take care of you and also have another girl that he's taking care of, then that also means there's more than enough disposable income that if you started doing some working for yourself, doing some things for yourself, building a business, doing whatever to make your own money and have your own income, there would be more than enough resources to take care of your children with nannies or babysitters while you're also pursuing your own things. Okay? Which means if you really want to have control of your own life and your own situation, and you don't want the power imbalance to be so skewed in his favor because he has the all control of all the finances in the house, then you need to do the job of going out and making something for yourself. Okay? Because truthfully and honestly, this is a preference thing. I can't tell you that he's a bad man simply because he's not allowing you to access his bank accounts. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's cheating on you. That doesn't even necessarily mean that he's a bad partner because he won't share his bank account with you. Okay? Right? And if he's doing his job in terms of providing for you and protecting for you, you and your children, then he's doing his part in the relationship. Him opening up his, bank account to you that you can access his money is not necessarily making him a good or a bad man. That's a preference thing. And that can be something that you guys disagree on. However, if you guys disagree on it, while I do agree that compromise is always important in relationships, you have to be realistic with the fact that if you guys disagree on this topic, and he's the one in control of it, if he chooses not to give it to you, there's nothing more you can do to get it. So if you know he has a hard stance against this, and you've already made yourself clear about how you feel about this and what you want from this and all that good stuff, at a certain point, it becomes useless for you to continue harping on this and trying to get this to happen when it's him that's in complete control of this. You're better off figuring out how you can get in control of the situation by doing something for yourself that helps to solve or ease your pain. And it seems like your pain in this particular situation is coming from the power imbalance. So if you're not going to be able to get access to his bank account, then the other way to kind of work on the power imbalance is by either getting a job, doing your own business, doing whatever it is for yourself that you can then begin to not have to rely on him. You understand what I'm saying? Right? That you don't have to rely on him and in order to be able to have money, in order to be able to support yourself, in order to be able to feel comfortable if things aren't going well in the relationship, that you can still stay afloat. Okay? Does that make sense? I hope for those of you guys, I hope maybe I was missing something, because I don't know, in the chat you guys were saying, nope, I read the same thing. Nope, that was the same thing. Because at the end with the ring thing, I don't understand why you got the ring. T, I don't understand. You want to find your own personal success, so you can do that. If he has disposable income, you can do that. You guys don't have to worry about nannies or babysitters. Perfectly fine. And I don't think he's being a bad husband because he's not letting you have access to his bank account. It's a preference thing. Okay? My advice to you, if you really want to know more and understand better, rather than asking him to open up his bank account to you, start having a real conversation about what is it that makes him uncomfortable about this. That's what will give you the real answers. And just let him speak. Let him share with you what aspects really and truly make him uncomfortable about sharing his finances with you. Is it that he thinks you're going to spend his money unwisely? Is it that he thinks that you're not good with budgeting? Is it that he doesn't trust you to not take out money, right? What is it? And let him tell you what it is that's making him uncomfortable. So even if nothing changes, you can have an answer as to why that is. Because usually the reason that he's taking a strong stance against this is for a much deeper rooted reason, which you should be understanding of and know what it is. Okay? Right? Okay, 15 years is a long time. Someone said 15 years. Yeah, 15 years is a long time. So I'm actually surprised you guys are having a trust issue that deep rooted. Okay, on both sides. Jade says, "What should I do?" So Jade asks, screenshots, guys, buckle up. Jade asks, so I'm female, 25. He's a male, 25. We've been dating for 3 months now. Everything is good. We dating like we're already together. Okay. Not all meetup leads to pineapples. Not all. So pineapples. It's only been 3 months. Okay. He respects me when I say no to that. Okay. I feel he got distance on weekends. He don't ask me to do plans anymore. I asked him in person if we can. Every time you guys send me this in your message, I feel pain all over again. Why are you asking him if you can be in a relationship, Jade? Why? You're the woman. Why are you asking him this? He knows who you are. He knows that he's dating you. He knows you're in a relationship. He's a grown man. He's an adult. He pays taxes. He knows that this relationship is growing. If he wanted to make you his girlfriend, he would just do that. You don't need to ask him. Okay? You're not the man. Are you going to propose to him? Are you going to buy him a ring like T did? And he told me he will think about it. You see what? He will think about it because the problem here is he wants to go to the army by 2025 for 1 year. Let him make the decision for himself. Okay, so this is the message. I've thought about it, yes. It's always on my mind. I'm just not sure about any of it. The thing is that I thought you said you asked him this in person. This seems like it's over text. The thing is that it will be really garbage when I go to Koskovu. That's why I said in the beginning that it wouldn't be something serious since it would end soon and that would be sad. But I really like you a lot and really like the way we are, and I don't want to be losing it. But I'm pretty sure that since I'm not really sure about saying yes, I should say no. And I hope you'll stay. Oh my gosh. But I would understand if you wouldn't want anything to do with me, since you already told me last time that would be just more painful. It would be really sad. Let me see here what the next thing is. Would be really sad. I thought was made out, but I wasn't. No, so I'm just skimming a little bit. I was convinced, and I feel like, okay, even though I feel it was the wrong choice to me, but that's all I'm going with. You don't have to answer right now. Okay. Jade. Guys, it's always a mistake to ask a guy to be in a relationship with you, or if he wants to be in a relationship with you. If he wants to be in a relationship with you, he will be in a relationship with you. I don't know how any simpler I can put that. And I know some of you get really anxious, but I want you to understand your anxiety is not solving anything. And when you ask him this, what do you want from him? So let's say you ask him if you guys can be in a relationship and he says yes. Do you think that came from him actually wanting the relationship? Or do you think that came from him saying yes because you asked him, and then he said yes because he feels bad? So if he comes back and he says he wants to be in a relationship 2 or 3 weeks from now, do you think that genuinely came because of how much he wants to be with you, or because he pities the fact that, you know, he likes you, but he's sad that you're so bent out of shape that there's no relationship? So because he's sad about that and that you're sad, he is going to be in a relationship with you for the sake of the pity. Okay, you don't want that. Let guys cook. Let them realize for themselves that they're so interested in you and want you so bad, they'll make it work regardless of anything. So what you did by asking him is you made him realize all the reasons that a relationship wouldn't work, rather than letting him cook and have him come to the realization that regardless of whether I'm going to the army, regardless of whether I'm leaving by 2025, regardless of whether I'm moving to Costco or Germany or Nigeria, I am going to be with you. Let guys be that hungry for you that nothing will stop them from being with you. You see, when you try to get guys to be ready for you faster than they're ready for you, this is what ends up happening. Now he's forced, because you've confronted him like this, instead of letting him cook, he's forced to come to the realization that I'm not ready to be with you. And that actually it decreases his desire for you and his desire to continue pursuing you, because you've brought it to the forefront of his mind that he's not ready to be fully committed to you. And he also starts thinking about how he probably won't be ready in the future because of the army. So now it's gone from, I want to continue pursuing you, getting to know you, learn you, grow more with you, love you more and all that good stuff, to, oh, I just realized that this isn't going to work out. And I realized I don't even like you enough to want to date you. So all of this is pointless. You've literally gone from being in a relationship that was going well, at least from your standards, and to him saying, basically, we can break up if you want because this isn't going anywhere. That's how detrimental this can be when you basically confront a guy and be like, are we going to be in a relationship or no? Without letting him cook and come to his own realization. Now, if you find yourself in a situation where you've been talking to a guy for a year and he still hasn't, asked you to be his girlfriend, that's a totally different thing. Obviously, he's stringing you along at that point. Then you just walk away. You don't then ask him, hey, are you ready to be in a relationship now? You just walk away because he's been playing around with you. You get what I'm saying? Okay. So that is that for that. All right. So I'm going to leave it there. I know we have a ton more questions to do, but I want to make sure that we keep the time as good as we can keep it. And that will be the show for today. So if you guys have any questions for me in the Discord and you want to ask me some more stuff and you want to talk to me more, you want me to get me to answer your situation, please go up. I don't know why I said you want to talk to me more. If you want me to get answer your situation, please go in the link in my bio if you're on TikTok, or the link in my description if you are on YouTube in the bottom, and you can go and ask me your situation and I will answer it live on the show. Okay. For those of you who want to follow me on Instagram because you want to see everything I'm doing and you want to just be around me 24/7, you can go up. It's right above my head on the left side of the screen. You can see my Instagram there, and you can type it in on Instagram and you can follow me there if you love me so much, because I love you too. Okay. If you are like, this is new to you, this is your first time here, you're like, oh my God, this is the most amazing show ever. I can't believe this actually exists. I can't believe this is actually a thing. I need to see this 24/7 all the time. You can go over to my YouTube page and you can just screenshot my name there, or you can type it in on YouTube and you'll be able to find my YouTube page where you'll see all of the live shows that I've done in the past, with the YouTube and TikTok live chat embedded in the video. So that's the most amazing part. You'll never miss any of the context and funny jokes that you guys crack in the chat while we're having the show. Okay. Because you guys are just as much a part of the show as me. So that's the amazing part. For those of you, because I know some people, they really love really condensed version. They're like, I don't want to sit here and watch a 2-hour stream. I don't want to sit here and watch an 1.5-hour stream. Make this shorter. I've seen some people on my YouTube page say make shorter vids. On my main page on YouTube, that is where I cut up and edit the same live show, just in a very, very condensed version, without the chat, without my side conversation, just the information, and I keep it under 15 minutes. Okay. So keep in mind that as well, if you're ever looking to get a version of me that's a lot shorter. All right. So that will be the show for today. I love you guys so much. Today is Friday. Obviously, have a great rest of your weekend. I'm here Monday to Friday, so the weekdays. So I won't be here tomorrow, but I will be here Monday. So set that in your calendar. 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, whatever time that is in your time zone, that is when we will join each other again. Okay? Until then, arrivederci, bon voyage. I will see you, hasta la vista. I will see you again later on Monday. Bye for now. And I love you so much. I love you so much.